Well, you did mention that I am kind of on vacation mode. I was here doing, working and, decided to kind of stay and just kind of extend and make it a vacation out of it. So I'm already, kind of like in Christmas mode, vacation mode. I'm in that, like, I'm gone fishing, but I don't want to just, not do anything while I'm on vacation. So my question to you is what would you advise or tell somebody like me who's I've got a busy week coming up, we've got Christmas shopping, we've got all these things going on, family dinners, people coming into town. What would be a good plan or strategy for somebody who's kind of taking off for the holidays, but still wants to be able to, maybe do some cash flow strategies, and the markets are volatile. It's not like, we're heading into a market that's up and you can make decisions, quick, but we've got some volatility going on. So I'm thinking, do I take my positions out, or do I just look for things that are a little bit further out the money and do some naked puts, cash flow trades of some sort? So I just need some guidance. And you being my mentor, we talked about this when we were doing my mentorship, but I just kind of need like a refresher of like, what do you do when you decide you're going to go fishing?
That is a fantastic question, actually, and let me give you just an instant and reactionary answer to that. If you head over to Tackle Trading real quick, I want to talk a little bit about portfolio design, because going fishing, that is an analogy and a reference to the great Jesse Livermore, who we had a wonderful webinar last month where Coach Matt talked about the lessons from the great Jesse Livermore. If you've not ever read the book Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, by Edwin Lefevre, I got a copy of it here on my shelf. It's one I would 100% recommend for you guys. Easy read, nice read. So maybe pick up a book on vacation, Emily. There's one answer to you, and maybe that book as well. But Jesse talked about, even as one of the greatest traders who ever lived, how he would go fishing. And it was very important for him to have a away time from the markets, where he'd be in his New York office or Philadelphia office or Chicago office, and he was busy, 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 busy. But in those moments in the year, in those moments in market conditions where he didn't have it, or he just wanted to do something else, he would go to Florida, or he would go to the Jersey Shore, and he would go fishing, and he would get away from markets for a little bit of time. And so sounds like the Queen, like many people, is approaching the holidays thinking, man, I've got my go fishing moment here. I want to focus on family and parties and events and holidays and all of those moments and memories. That's normal. That's very natural, very healthy thing, something important for all of our long-term success, by the way. Open up today's Tackle Today. The 3 buckets of portfolio design. Coach Tyler has been writing about portfolio design this week. And that's because next Monday night, I'm going to be holding a webinar here. And you can stay right there for 1 second, right on those 3 bullet points. I'm holding a webinar next Monday on portfolio design. And I remember when Emily walked into my office as her mentor back in 2015, Emily. Yes, that will date us a little bit. But I remember working with you, and where you had all this speculation trading in your trading at the time. Mm-hmm. And there are times for that. There's a role for that, but not when you're going fishing. Mm-hmm. So what I would do whenever you're in a moment where you're like, okay, I don't have the exact amount of time to deal with this every day the way I do when I'm home, when I'm in my home office, when I'm working on the markets day by day. Yeah. I'm going to be traveling. I got airports, I got kids, I got all this stuff. I would, number one, make sure your growth investments are taken care of heading into the end of the year. Okay. As you scroll down here, you're going to see a little bit of an image, the chart of the day today. As you go down the Tackle Today, keep coming down one more segment, one more, actually right there, that the little bullet point things. In portfolio design, you have to have a plan for cash flow, which I know you do, Emily. A big part of your approach to markets is cash flow. Mm-hmm. In your cash flow segment, go through all your positions, roll covered calls out all the way to mid-January, maybe hedge anything needed, take profits on stuff that has ROTI in it, return on time invested. So let's say that you've got a rule on like a naked put, for example, where you take profits at 80% of your net liquidation. Mm-hmm. And maybe you're in one where it's got like 60% profit, and you can reduce one trade from your account so you can have the time on the go fishing part. Yeah. Maybe you take that profit a little bit earlier, log the trade, and move on, right? Yeah. Try to simplify your cash flow positions And for those core positions like cover calls, I don't think you dump your cover calls here, Em. I don't think you would either, right?
Mhm.
You would roll those out to where you've got that 30 to 45 day window. Make sure your condors are structured where you've got plenty of cushion all the way to the strike prices you need, and kind of just handle that stuff so it can cook while you are on your go fishing vacation. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Any questions on the cash flow stuff? Because that's the first thing I would take care of.
No, I think that's kind of like where my head was, and even looking into getting any new entries, if my normal, delta entries are 25 or 20 delta, maybe even going a little bit lower, just to, still pick up some, some cash flow, but give myself a little bit more cushion so that in case the market does go through some volatility, I've still got some cushion and time to make, to make decisions and management later on.
Gotcha. I agree. Yeah, I think so. You handle those from a management perspective, give yourself some time, some cushion so they can cook. Number two, you then go into the growth area of your portfolio, right? Your longer term stuff. And with the growth area, I would not, as I'm getting ready to spend some time away from the computer, I wouldn't go do a bunch of research on new investments. But what I would do is I would review my current watch list from a long-term perspective and really identify, are there any stocks that I have been wanting to pick up for a long time that I am now getting an opportunity on that I could maybe start dollar costing in on? Okay. I'll give you a really boring example of a company that I'm interested in right now, potentially for 2022, and that's Intel. I was talking to Coach Mark about Intel yesterday, dividend payer, boring company, out of favor, forming a bottoming pattern. They've got some nice news recently. They're investing into a new facility in Malaysia and some stuff, some projects they got going on in Europe and all that kind of stuff. And it is not a stock I expect to have huge returns on, but a nice dividend, 1% on the cover calls, stuff like that. I'm thinking about adding something like that, right? So if there are targets that you've already done all your research on, and those are ones that you can knock down an easy decision without a lot of stress or anxiety because you've already put all the work in, maybe you go through and manage that part of your watch list as well. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So there could be some things. And then the other side of growth, you do have to spend some time before the end of the year with, any of those positions that have been long-term positions that you might want to dump before next year for tax purposes or lock in profits or readjust or whatever it is. So you probably do need to put a little time in your long-term stuff, either from a watch list perspective or a management perspective. So reset your cash flow, reassess growth investments, and just kind of go through them at least one thorough time so you can feel comfortable while you're away. And then the speculation area, man, I would manage my way out of those so that you're not pulled into those for any reason. While you're on a beach or while you're at a nice restaurant or while you're at the family party and enjoying, the holiday season, you don't want to be thinking about a swing trade that was supposed to be a 4-day trade. Okay.
Yeah.
Now for me, I'm going to trade the next 2.5 weeks. I'm still going to be looking for speculation because I'm hanging out in the office and I got a cup of coffee, and trading is my way to get away from those holiday stresses. So this is my go fishing, right? So I'm going to be looking for those speculative type stuff. I love this type of year. I love this type of environment. And even with the Fed, I think there's some volatility opportunities and some bag of tricks opportunities. But if somebody like my student or one of, the coaches here, Emily, yourself, says, hey, I'm going fishing, Tim, dump those spec trades. You don't need to be into short-term stuff, day trading every day when you're getting on an airplane and traveling. There's always time for that. And I think there's an important lesson there, by the way. Speculation serves a role in all of our approaches to the market, that when we're focused, when we're in the right mindset, when we're, like they talk about in sports, in the zone, it's a key element of what we're doing. But if we're distracted, focus on the other two more important long-term areas. So Emily, while you're on vacation, question for you from you today is, what do I do when I'm in this mindset mode? That would be my answer in those 3 areas. Hopefully that helps.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. It's kind of like where my headspace was. I hadn't even thought about, the growth area of, maybe even looking at that watch list. But, I don't like to give myself extra work. I know that there's a new list coming out, for a system that we use. So I'll just wait for the list to come out and I'll pick it off of that.
There's nothing wrong with that. And what Emily's talking about is the Tackle 25 release, which Coach Matt, he doesn't get to go fishing in December. I'm going to tell you right now. Well, he does. He goes fishing in the watch list in the market, but he is diligently working on that project. And I got to tell you, every year, the entire community at Tackle Trading, we look forward to it. It's a wonderful New Year's gift to all of us when it happens. And we'll be releasing the new Tackle 25 list with the Dirty Sexy Money stocks, the Dividend Fireworks stocks, the Poor Boy Covered Call stocks, these wonderful watch lists we can use for the whole year. They come out first trading day of January, Emily. So by the time all of those Christmas, parties are over, and the New Year's parties and the football games and all that, you're going to get that opportunity when that happens, for sure.
It is the one thing I look forward to, after all the, you've had all the parties and the Christmas presents have been opened and all the other stuff. When you get back to the markets, that list is the one thing that I'm always anticipating, because I can start to build my new year, from that list. And it's a very good list, and we're always anticipating for that list to come out. So Coach Matt is back there working on it. So, I'm going fishing, but you work on that, Coach Matt. We love you though.
Hey, that's why we're a team. We absolutely leverage each other's talents and work and efforts. And right now, the best advice I can give you right now is, once you do all those three things, just focus on your time away. You don't want to continually be pulled away from your time away as well. You got to have those boundaries in life. You got to have those things in life. And those moments are truly, truly important, Emily, for our long-term health, success, and all of those type of things.